I've wanted to read some Peter Straub for a while since I read Talisman, and Quality Autism actually recommended this one. It's called Julia. This is by Peter Straub. This is his first attempt at horror. It's his third novel. His first two are like kind of romance, like trying to be like artsy fartsy, and no one likes him. So he's like, "You want a good ghost story? You read Julia." Julia is about a woman named Julia whose child has recently died, and she's left her overbearing husband and has bought a house that's haunted, and the haunting may have to do with her. So, what did I think of Julia? It's a fine book. It's a nice little ghost story. The big problem with it is that it's a bit on the dated side. It's very 70s. And here's the thing. Like, a lot of the technology and stuff in this, it's very dated. And it relies a little too heavily on it. And I think it takes away from stuff. The other thing is, it's very clear this is Peter Straub's first horror novel. And the twists and turns, you can see a mile away. And then there's things that I think are underdeveloped. So, Julia's husband, Magnus, is an overbearing a-hole who's comes from a very wealthy family. He has a sister that he and his sister are really close. She's kind of manipulative and awful too, but not as bad as him. And then they have an adoptive younger brother who's kind of mysterious and dashing. And like there's like a whole group of like people that were involved with the house that Julia's staying at and the woman who owned it originally. And there's a little ghost girl who's kind of horrific and evil that's in the house. And there's a lot of things going on in here, and the way they connect is fairly obvious, and that's the problem with Julia, is that like part of it's dated and the other part of it's just Peter Straub hasn't developed his like horror sort of like his style of horror yet. So it's like a weird transitional book. And like he's just not as good at writing suspense as he will become. Um I know from like Floating Dragon or like Ghost Story, they're much better books than this. But this is worth your time to check out if you want like a little basic ghost story. I recommend checking out Julia. I give it a good 3.8 out of 5. It's fine. It's okay. It's worth checking out. So, anyway, have a nice day.